A platoon could have kept up with the voracious appetite of this machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, it was auger-fed, steam-driven auger, and then in the end, they had what they call a flicker mechanism, also steam-driven, inside that firebox that would kind of crunch the coal to a more uniform size and then do its best to flick it all the way up into the far corners. Okay, so it was 100% automatically fired. The engines were built initially with one purpose in mind, and that was to haul Pacific fruit expresses. Okay, in other words, they wanted to be able to take the fruit from Ogden, Utah. Southern Pacific would bring it out of Napa Valley up and over the Sierra Nevadas. So they had about a 6,800 to 7,200 peak they had to get over. Okay, and then at Ogden, Southern Pacific would take empty refrigerator cars back to Napa, and the loaded ones would be handed over to Union Pacific. Prior to the introduction of these machines in the year in 1941, it used to take 2, sometimes 3 engines, and of course with a steam engine, that's 3 crews, okay? Diesels I can lash up as many as I want and run them with 1 crew because they electronically connect together, okay? So when I throw the throttle of one, the others all follow suit. So you had to have X number of crews for X number of machines. They were lucky to average 10 miles an hour, and I believe their load limit was typically around 3,400 to 3,500 tons, okay? So these engines were built with 3 goals in mind. A, 25 miles an hour average over the hump and then in the home stretch, and we'll talk about that in a minute. 1 crew and the target manifest of 3,600 to 3,800 tons of fruit. So that's 7.2 to 7.6 million pounds. It's almost 7 times its own weight, okay? Yeah, it is 7 times its own weight. The other thing they did, and it was a conscious decision in choosing to make their wheels 68 inches high, which is pretty tall for a freight train. Most freight trains would have been in the 44, 48 range up to about 62 or 63. They wanted to be able to scoot home into Cheyenne. Basically, when they rounded third base and headed for home, they wanted to be able to do that at 60 miles per hour, okay? And driver height is directly proportional to top-end speed, okay? Shorter drivers give you more torque, lower top-end speed, which is why most freight trains had shorter drivers. This is a passenger engine. He has 78-inch drivers, okay? Union Pacific still owns and operates one of this size. He has 80-inch drivers, and he's reputedly been clocked at just under 110 miles per hour. Yeah. So what's more, those were the 3 parameters plus the 60-mile-an-hour home run. During World War II, manifests as high as 4,500 tons were recorded of war material. So that's 17 to 18% above engineering spec. So yes, they more than got their money's worth. They performed as they wanted, as they expected them to. They only ever had an accident like one of them, and it was not serious enough to put it out of commission. That's number 4023, which I think is the one that's still retained by Union Pacific in Omaha. Now, when they got ready to retire them, out of 25, 8 of them still remain today. From as far east as Scranton, PA, to Pomona, California, with the bulk of them sitting here in the mid part of the country, in Dallas, and St. Louis, and Green Bay, Cheyenne, Omaha, and Denver.
Is the one in Denver?